Welcome back to Interactive Wrestling Radio, and joining us on the line right now is an OVW diva, Taeler Hendrix. Taeler, are you with us?
I am, and we're knockouts.
You're knockouts over at OVW, that's right. I forgot, I'm sorry about that. So, you guys are down in OVW now, and there's been some shakeups down there. You guys used to be a WWE training facility. Now you guys are working a little bit closer with TNA. How is everything going down in OVW right now?
It is going awesome. We have just a super amount of opportunities going on right now with Ring of Honor, WWE, and TNA. OVW is the best spot on the indies right now because we have all three major companies taking talent and looking at us for talent.
Absolutely. And that comes from your trainers, and I told you in an email that we just spoke to Rip Rogers about a year ago, and I got to tell you, I was always a fan of him, so it was a real treat for me to talk to him. You know, you guys have, I believe Eugene is training down there still, Nick Dinsmore, is that correct?
Yes, he is.
Very good, and that's going to be great. You know, it's kind of the premier place to go and I won't say train, because I think that's inappropriate, but really perfect your craft. Would that be appropriate?
There's both. I mean, there is something going on at OVW almost every single day of the week, like literally 7 days a week. There's probably something going on. Eugene, or Nick Dinsmore, he does the beginner's class. So if you've never wrestled before or you've barely wrestled, you'll start off in his class. And once you have that training or you've had enough training out on other indies that is acceptable, you will go then to Rip Rogers' class, which is every weekend. And also Al Snow does classes from time to time, and he goes over TV.
Right.
So this class is Al Snow as well. And, you know, you also have Danny Davis in the mix, and you have TNA coming down, and another one of our talent just got taken to WWE, and one or two other people just got signed to Ring of Honor. So we have TNA Developmental down here. So there is something going on almost every single day of the week. I mean, we have house shows during the week and on the weekends. We have Saturday Night Special the first Saturday of every month, and then we have TV every Wednesday.
Now, I mentioned that you're down in OVW now, and you now live in Kentucky, am I right?
Yes, correct.
So that's a serious jump from where you started from up in Oregon, correct?
I am from New England. I'm not from Oregon.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you were from Oregon. Okay, so you're from New England, but now you're down in, so this is obviously something you take it very seriously, and you're very serious about your craft, am I right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Very cool. Well, I got to tell you, I've seen the pictures, I've seen the YouTube clips, and I used to get a guy who sent me the OVW TV tapings, but unfortunately he went through some personal stuff. But I've seen some of your stuff, and it's really impressive, and I do wish you the best of luck. I guess my next question is, how does a normal human being get involved in such an abnormal line of work?
Well, first off, thank you. That was really awesome of you to say. Getting started in this line of work, oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. It's really different for every person who gets into it. I mean, it's definitely different for a female than what it is for a male. I mean, the opportunities are different. I mean, sometimes, you know, if you have this certain female anatomy, you just get put on a show, and then, you know, maybe you'll pick up wrestling later. For me, I was really drawn to wrestling at a young age because I wasn't allowed to watch it, you know. You want to spite your parents and watch it anyway. And I remember I saw this one particular clip on the television on Christmas Eve, and from there I was hooked. And then I tried to go to training with Bob Evans, and a couple years later, I finally made it in, and I've been working really hard ever since.
Very good. Do you remember what the clip was?
Yes, I do. I'll never forget it.
What was it?
So basically I had these old 1970s bunk beds, so you can imagine little me up in my top bunk, and I'm watching this little TV, flipping through the channels even though I know I'm supposed to be sleeping. And someone's told me it was $19.99 when I told them what clip it was, but I could be wrong, or they could be wrong, I should say. I turned on the TV, found the channel where The Rock is cutting this promo, and the crowd of people at that arena were just going nuts. They were bawling. They were insane. Like, I thought they were going to jump the barrier. And all of a sudden, this sound, and this countdown begins on this huge Titantron, and you can imagine where I'm going with this. It was the debut of Chris Jericho into the WWF. And I remember exactly what he said, and, well, not word for word, but I remember what he said, and just the reaction the crowd had and The Rock had. It was just like this huge explosion in the arena. And when I saw that, I was just like, wow, I have to do this. Like, this is one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. And from there, I was hooked. I was like, they're athletic. There's athleticism. They get to perform in front of millions of people. They get to act. They get to do all these things. And it just seemed like the most amazing thing in the world to me, and I had to be a part of it.
That's awesome. That really is an incredible story. So now you are a part of it, and you mentioned some of the guys that you're working under, and obviously being a female, like you said, there's different opportunities available to you. What is your primary goal? Obviously, working for OVW, that has kind of the most window of opportunity. What window of opportunity are you hoping opens?
Well, right now I'm hoping for the TNA door to fully open for me. I've been working really hard with them and on myself to be ready for that. And I think my ultimate goal is to one day make it to the WWE. I think that's the ultimate goal for a lot of people in this business, and I guess I fit the mold for that. That's what I ultimately would like to do.
Very good. And what do you think of the two main company divisions for women, the TNA Knockouts and the WWE Divas? Obviously, they're a little bit different. TNA, I guess you could say, is a little bit more in-ring based, whereas WWE's maybe a little bit more towards the look department, maybe?
Well, I'm going to play the political game and not say bad things about the companies I'm hoping to get opportunities from.
You learn
well. I'll play it smart. Oh, I do. I learn from other people's mistakes. But, yes, they both are very different. That's a great observation. I would like to be a part of both of those. Hopefully, I'll get the opportunity. That'll be a great opportunity to work for both. I do agree to a certain extent that, some of WWE is outside, whereas some of TNA is in-ring. But they both have wrestling and they both have great talent. It's just a matter of how and what they have, what the opportunity is, what's going on. Not the situations in both companies aren't the same, and I think that's what a lot of people forget. So I would be lucky to have an opportunity with either or both of those companies, best case scenario.
Very good. Now, one of your most talked about matches was when you actually got to defeat the lady who now performs as Karma. How was it for you being I don't want to say smaller, but not being somebody of her stature, going against somebody of her size and strength? Was that something impressive to get in the ring with?
I was very intimidated. I will not lie. I will not put myself over. I was extremely intimidated. I'm normally back home. I was one of the taller girls, if not one of the tallest. I think the only person who may have been taller than me back home may have been Barbie. And I think maybe we were the same height, and maybe I was a quarter of an inch taller, so all the rest of the girls were shorter than me. I towered over a lot of them, so when I have to go in the ring with somebody who towers over me, it was definitely an experience I will not forget. I had to bring my A game. She didn't give me any leeway. I had to bring it all in. Surprisingly, I did sneak one on her, and I got the win, which was really awesome. Up until that point, that was the biggest win of my career, and I learned so much from it. So overall, it was a very awesome experience, and yes, it did give me a lot of exposure that I'm very thankful for.
And Patrick Kelly, by the way, my co-host, is on the line. Patrick, are you with us?
Yes. Hello there, Taylor. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Got a couple questions here for you. You talked about the great talent that is in TNA and WWE with their women's division. If you got an opportunity with TNA or WWE, who are some of the talents you'd like to work with, obviously, besides a rematch with Karma, which would be an interesting one?
Well, I would have to say the number one person I would want to work with is the person I grew up watching on TV, and whenever she was on the TV, I just never wanted to look away. It was Victoria. Growing up when I was a kid, I loved watching her matches. I was just always fascinated by her. So I would say she's the number one person that I would hands down love to work. Let's see. I would love to work with most of those ladies because they're all different, so they all bring something different to the table, which means they would all bring something different out of me. But she is definitely number one. I would also love to work with Mickie James and Beth Phoenix, Natalya, Angel Williams, and so forth. So.
Awesome. And I guess the next question I have for you is, you worked ROH, and that's a little bit of a tougher audience. They kind of have more of I'd say their following is a little bit more like the Japanese crowd, where they are very, very in-ring style. And was it harder to work in front of the ROH audience as it is to get in there in the OVW audience?
Oh, yes, it was. They hated me. I don't think there's ever anything I admitted on a radio interview, but yeah, a lot of the Ring of Honor fans, they were not too happy with me being brought in. I think they only wanted one redhead at the time, and the only redhead they wanted to see was Raina Von Tosh. But I'm different from her, and I bring something new to the table, and I think if I got another chance with Ring of Honor, because I hear supposedly that they're starting up a women's division. I'll be really excited if that's true. And if it is, I would be very excited to be a part of it and actually get the chance to show them what I'm capable of and what I can do, because even though I was there for, I think, like 5 TV tapings, I really didn't get to showcase what I'm capable of, so I would really like that opportunity. And I would love to get the opportunity to work with Veda Scott, because even though she's announcing right now and commentating, she has a lot of talent as well. As far as my time at Ring of Honor, it was difficult, it was different, but it was a great learning experience, and I got to meet a lot of great people who work differently than I do. And that helped me learn a lot, and it helped me make some really cool connections, and it helped me learn different audiences and how to work on TV matches and dark matches and all kinds of different scenarios that I didn't have working the indies back home. So that was definitely a major accomplishment.
Well, going back to the way that the Ring of Honor fans reacted to you, if it makes you feel any better, I do recall them once booing Zach Allen. So they are a tough crowd to play in front of.
Well, thank you. That did help a little. I mean, to be fair, you can't lump everybody together. I hate when people do that. Some fans are really nice, and, you know, they requested me and said nice things. It was really nice to hear, but, you know, you got to take the good with the bad.
There you go. Well, I got to tell you, I really did want to get the opportunity to interview you. I do kind of see that you would be a perfect fit. You know, I told Patrick off the air, I think that you'd be a perfect fit for TNA because they like that kind of look, but also like that you can go. And I think that that would be kind of the perfect fit for you. And you mentioned a little bit that you're making inroads into that direction. Did I hear that?
Oh, yes. I think a lot of people here at OVW, well, I started, like, getting in, as you put it, roads with when I was back home, but it didn't really get set into motion until I came to OVW. I think everybody's on the TNA radar, you know. Not to say that I'm not anything special, but being at OVW definitely helped me get a leg ahead compared to other people that aren't at OVW. Because, I mean, we're now the developmental, and they're sending talent to us, and, you know, they're looking at us more, and it's just a great opportunity, and I plan to take advantage of the opportunity and keep working hard and show them what I have, and then if I get the opportunity, work even harder to keep it.
Very cool. Last week you actually did I think it was a dark match, where you were in a 6-person tag match, and you ended up on the other side of the ring of Al Snow's wife, Cindy Snow, Bobcat. Is that kind of like a test for you to be in the ring with one of the main trainers or one of the guys, you know, wives, and make sure that you impress her so she doesn't say anything bad to the trainer guy?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just a way of spicing up the roster because I'm the new girl, but I'm the only other new one. So sometimes they try to bring in other women, and Bobcat Barbie Bardot was just happened to be somebody new, somebody refreshing that the OVW audience hasn't seen. So it was definitely a challenge for me and a challenge for her as well because, you know, it's always a challenge when you haven't wrestled somebody before. You don't know their style. You don't know how far they can go. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was definitely an experience for me, and it's still an experience because she's not going anywhere. And it helps me because I've never wrestled her before, and she's bigger than me, so I'm the underdog, and it just brings out the best in me. And I'm definitely working to bring out the best in her because I'm the champion. I have to hold on to that in any way possible.
Very cool. It's got to be cool to have that belt around your waist, right?
It's definitely an experience, my first ever title, so.
Very cool. Well, I got to tell you.
How heavy are those belts? Because I've been told they're heavier than they look.
They are much heavier than they look. I will never wear it around my waist.
Is that hard? You guys don't travel much, so you haven't had to put it through the airport security or anything yet, have you?
No, OVW does a lot of shows around like the Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio area, but they are branching out more now. Now that the houses and stuff are under new management by Trailer Park Trash, he does an excellent job. And when I do outside shows other than OVW, I don't bring my belt. just in case.
Very cool. That'll be interesting to see how you get through airport security with a big gold belt like that. That'd be pretty interesting to see how the security guards would react to that. But anyway, I got to tell you, it's been great having you on the show. And is there anything you'd like to say, both to your fans and where people can catch up on your upcoming events, calendar, and updates from you?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for letting me do that. Coming up, OVW has a bunch of shows. Coming up this Friday night, we'll be in Frankfort, Kentucky. Saturday night, OVW will be in E-Town, Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And Sunday, we'll be back in Louisville at the Expo 5. And then plus we have TV tomorrow night. And Saturday Night Special is coming up on March 3rd. There's going to be a lot of stuff that the OVW fans will not want to miss. I can guarantee it. And they can catch up with me and any other events at www.ovwrestling.com. And to specifically get in contact with me, you can go to www.facebook.com/Taeler Hendrix or youtube.com/Taeler Hendrix. And if you are so inclined and you really want updates from me, like faster, you can always go to twitter.com/Taeler_Hendrix, and then you can also like my athlete page. That's pretty much it.
There you go. Last question for you. The Hendrix in your name, where did that come from? Where did you decide to bring Hendrix into the picture?
No, kudos to you guys. Nobody has ever asked me that on a radio interview.
Well, I got to tell you, I had two thoughts in mind, and maybe either of them are both wrong. I saw you mention Michael Hayes in the past, and he used to be Doc Hendrix way back when. And then I remember, obviously, Jimi Hendrix, so I'm not sure where you would have gotten it from. So.
I am a very big environmental person. A lot of people in wrestling don't know that I am actually a political science major, and I used to run environmental campaigns up and down New England. And I am one of the people that helped pass the GWSA Act that passed in the Senate and the House of Representatives. So working through that, my name kind of became Taeler Hendrix when I started wrestling because I've always had a hippie personality. I'm always very environmentally oriented, and a referee/booker back home by the name Rich Bass actually saw my gimmick and really liked what I had to offer and gave me the last name Hendrix. And from there, it was the beginning of the Taeler Hendrix experience, the One Girl Revolution.
Very good. Very good. Well, I'm glad we got to ask you something nobody else has. And I'll tell you what, anytime you have anything else to promote, you're always welcome to come back. And I told you it'd be about 15 minutes. So that's about the time we're at. And thanks so much for spending this much time with us. If you ever have anything else you want to promote, just give us a call. And
Awesome.
we'd be happy to do that.
Thank you so much.
Well, wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on Impact Wrestling here soon.
Oh, awesome. Please plug that. You guys have a great night. Thank you for asking me to do the interview.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to WrestlingEpicenter.com, Interactive Wrestling Radio. It is James Walsh, joined, as always, by Mr. Patrick Kelly.
Yo!
And Mr. Nick Knoll.
Fuck Shane Douglas.
And Nick still likes Shane Douglas so much after last week's interview. I'd love to have these two on the line at the same time. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But we just finished up with Taeler Hendrix. In fact, we recorded that interview last week. It kind of took us a little longer to get the recap show here dialed up than we wanted it to, but it was a really fun interview with Taeler Hendrix. I wish her the best of luck. Anytime you get an attractive female who can actually work, I'm all for them. And I'll be honest with you, I wasn't sure what to expect when we got on the phone with her, if she'd be a little ditzy or if she would have her faculties together and be really intelligent. And actually, she's very intelligent, answered the questions very down the line, politically correct, and she really seems to be managing her career by not stepping on anybody's toes really well, and that's definitely a positive in the wrestling business.